So the title of this is Case Studies in OT-Level Cybersecurity, but I think what usually happens is we kind of develop a common thread here. We have some very good presenters. I don't have any slides. I had some, but I wasn't real happy with them, so I'm just going to talk a little bit. I know you're disappointed not to see more PowerPoint slides after an entire day. But I think, as far as a common thread in this session, just some things to consider during the panel discussion, and I do encourage everybody to speak up and ask questions during the discussion. I think it's going to be a good one. We want to look at a few things here. One of them, is somebody that comes from a background in process automation and process safety at ARC and covering those markets for a long time and then moving into cybersecurity, is that we see cybersecurity as an increasing catalyst for control system migration. So that's one of the things we're going to explore in these presentations. Another thing I think we're going to see in both cases really are physical aspects of ICS cybersecurity, and by that I mean designing products to be inherently cyber secure through the physical features of those products. Another thing to keep in mind. Securing the legacy installed base is another. So there are solutions that we have to secure this vast and diverse installed base of controls that we have. And I think that includes really old control systems. As somebody that worked in DCS for a long time and helped end users out with migration projects, it always astounds me the age of some of the products and systems that are installed out there and still running, and people are still using them. And lastly, I just want to point out the issue of supplier selection. I think we talk a lot about products and cybersecurity assessments and things like that. We don't often talk about cybersecurity in the context of, for example, selecting a DCS supplier, or things like that. And I've done projects with some pretty big companies over the past, even going back 2-3 years, where cybersecurity wasn't even part of the DCS supplier selection process. We actually had to go and help the end user customer add it in. So these are some things we should consider while we're watching these presentations. And again, please feel free to come up with your questions. We'll pass the mic around. I have a few questions written down for the panel, but I really encourage audience participation. So we have some very good presenters today. We have Juan Yactayo of Era Energy and Christian Allenson of Chevron. And first up, we're going to have Juan Yactayo. So please join me in welcoming Juan to the stage.